ICC now has a new head, former BCCI Secretary Jay Shah. Now, Jay Shah takes over from the outgoing ICC chair in Greg Barclay. He's now quit amidst all the turmoil of the ICC Champions Trophy, and one wonders when this will be sorted out. But before going out, Greg Barclay had some very interesting things to say about the state of cricket in the world. At the outset, Greg Barclay, the former ICC chair, has stated that the cricket game is in a mess. Why has he stated that it's in a mess? The calendar is incredibly congested and self-interest is such that it's almost impossible to untangle all of that, because no one is going to give up on their content. You look at the cricket calendar now, every month there is something or the other. India are playing 10 out of the 12 months or 11 out of the 12 months. If there is no international cricket, franchisee cricket is dominating. Say, from example, from June to August, it's the Vitality Blast plus the 100. Then you have the CPL, then you have the Lanka Premier League, then you have the SA20, the IL20, then the MLC, IPL. Look at how congested the cricket calendar is, and because of that, every other league has got a major financial stake, and they will generate enough of content and revenue to ensure that the game remains relevant to many players. How on earth is the ICC going to untangle itself from that? Greg Barclay has stated that this is the reason why cricket is in such a mess, and they just have no clue how to untangle this mess. This is a big warning that the ICC outgoing chair has given. So much congestion, so much cricket, it could lead to long-term consequences as well. Now, on the Afghanistan situation, many people are stating that because Afghanistan don't have a women's team, they should be banned. Cricket Australia has followed this. On the other hand, Greg Barclay has absolutely blasted Cricket Australia's double standards by stated, Afghanistan's board haven't done anything wrong. They are working under a decree. Don't play them in a World Cup. This is a direct jibe at Cricket Australia. Don't play them in a World Cup. It might cost you a semi-final. But principles are principles. It's not about having half a principle. Now, this is a major problem. Greg Barclay is justifying Afghanistan's stance by saying that they are working under a decree. But that government has had a very regressive decree. How on earth then can you justify what Afghanistan cricket is doing at this point in time? Because it's a decree that a regressive government has had. Okay, valid criticism that yes, Australia shouldn't play them in anything. Employ what England did in the World Cup of 2003. Because they had a trouble with the Robert Mugabe regime, they did not play them in the World Cup. They forfeited the points. That cost them because they couldn't go into the final. But Cricket Australia, yes, now they should make it a point that they will not play Afghanistan in any form of matches anywhere in the world. ICC then will have a double problem. India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Australia. What do you do then? But Barclay's statement that they are working under a decree is very problematic. And Cricket Australia, he's called them out for double standards when the ICC themselves haven't taken a firm stance when he was in charge. But he's acknowledged that India have a massive clout. Just look at one particular example. The deal that was signed for 8 years, India had the maximum. The next most expensive was England. That was 10% of the deal. That is how skewed the financial power is in India's hands. And Greg Barclay has urged India to do something for the game of cricket. What did he say? India could unite and grow the game, including commercially helping to pool offshore rights, using their teams to give opportunity to smaller full members and emerging countries, open new territories and markets. Now, what they want is India has the capability to field 2-3 teams in one go. Play them against all the smaller nations like Zimbabwe, Afghanistan, Ireland on a much more consistent basis. Play in countries which don't have that much of a cricketing pedigree. In that way, they will spread cricket all over the globe. That's what Barclay is suggesting at this point in time, but it seems highly unlikely because Many Indian players don't get a chance to play in other overseas leagues. Only when you retire you can do that. The exclusivity factor. Barclay hasn't addressed that in this particular situation. So, the onus is on India to develop the game. As usual, when you look at it, because of the financial powerhouse that India is, the game has to grow. But his stance on Afghanistan is problematic. And the fact that he's pointed out that yes, cricket is in a very, very messy situation because of the schedule, he's absolutely spot on about that. What do you think about Greg Barclay's comments as the outgoing ICC chair? Does he point out the factual thing about cricket? Do you agree with this Afghanistan viewpoint and on this viewpoint on India? You can write to us in the comments below. Thank you so much folks for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.